Love that Daryl's
Okay.
voice just died during that.
Sound check. Okay, there it is. In case you didn't hear that, that was me berating Anna here. Basically showing up to work naked or in her underwear. This is the nightmare scenario.
I'd say, based on how the character looks floating down there, I'd say basically in her underwear.
Oh my god! Stop!
Or that dream when you wake up and you're in a meeting and you're supposed to be wearing clothes and you are not. We're at one of those right here. Starting off strong, Anna. Starting off strong.
Oh my god. Rihanna, you did this to me!
Okay, so
Notice that she's
If
quiet.
I took a level. Okay, so if I take a level in that, I
Okay.
add that.
Okay. Daryl, when you... Oh, it refreshed. I'm good.
Okay, so everybody, we are leveling up. Seeing as how they were able to defeat the gremlins, those nasty gremlins eating our dissertations, unforgivable.
I forgot my super suit.
Are we on fixed HP? Oh, we're on fixed HP.
What do you mean fixed HP? It's up to
On
you.
fixed or roll?
It's up to you. You can roll it or you can take the average. I don't really care. Just as long as you kind of like, you're clear about it. Don't like...
No.
And do one or the other. Don't like roll it and be like, oh, that sucked. I'm going to take average now.
No. I'll roll it. I'll just keep what I had before and then just add. I just rolled a 4 for the 1d10, so I'm just going to add what I had before for.
Yeah, so no. Okay, so
Yeah.
So if you roll it, just take the value. So if you rolled that 4, you're adding the 4 to your HP. That's the idea.
Yeah. No, I'm saying though I didn't roll before. I was at fixed. So
Okay.
I'm saying I'm not re-rolling for it. I'm just going to take what was already there and add the 4 now. So I'm not like changing my HP entirely.
Alright, so yeah, as a barbarian gets fast attack and fast movement, so that's an extra attack. And fast movement. A theory at a level 5, a theory, you have uncanny dodge. That means if you see it coming, what was it? Yeah. When you can see it coming, you can use your reaction to have the attack's damage.
Nice.
So that makes things nice. And remember that at 5, your proficiency bonus goes up 1, and your sneak attack damage goes up to 3d6. So it goes up an extra die.
Ooh, all right.
She becomes that much more deadly. Gradoll, are you continuing along your path as a druid?
I am.
Alright. Let's see. Level 5 druid. Okay, no features, but you get, again, proficiency bonus, and you get a few extra spell slots.
I do.
Yeah, alright. Ooh, you get level 3rd... You have 3rd level spell slots now.
I do.
Okay. Alright.
Daryl?
Yes.
Why didn't you ask me if I was going to be continuing in the way of barbarian or switching to something else?
Okay, so go ahead. You can tell me now that you're going to be, what, a bard now? What?
I was thinking a cleric.
A cleric of what? You have to pick god.
Are you actually going to multi-class?
No.
And if you're going to multi-class like that, you have to have a minimum you have to have a minimum like ability requirement, which is a 13. So
yeah.
So if you want to do cleric, I believe it's wisdom.
I think the only thing that would make sense is if she multi-classed as a druid, but there's something in my backstory prohibiting that, so stuck as a barbarian.
No, like honestly, let's go with it. If you got the stat requirements for it, go ahead, be a cleric or be a warlock or be a wizard. I don't really care.
Yeah. Nah, I'm sticking with her backstory.
Okay.
So yeah.
What's in her backstory prohibiting her from being a cleric?
Well, you'll find out, won't you?
She's secretly an atheist.
Okay. Jesus.
Secretly an atheist.
Joke's on you. I actually had a warforged that I turned into a cleric because he learned how to be a cleric from the man he was serving. It was actually pretty cool. And then he died by a vampire.
A were-tiger vampire? Ooh,
No,
sorry, that's just a little low.
Wow, geez, did you just take how I died 3 times and just jam it into one thing and then just that hurt, man. I'll remember that.
DM,
Yeah.
DM, quick question.
Yes.
How are we handling material components? The reason I ask is in what might be an important cleric kind of spell for which might be helpful to our party. I just got Revivify,
Yes.
Ooh, jeez.
which is great if one of our party dies, but requires diamonds worth 300 gold pieces, which the spell consumes.
I know most people just do 300 gold pieces for that, but either way, that's usually hard to have.
Okay, so for most okay, so I get confused about some of these like technical things, but generally speaking, that if you have a spell component that does not get consumed like that, then you can use a spell focus, right? In the case of Revivify, that is a particular one that I do want to maintain the spell component because that
That's
is a
what I
very,
figured.
very important, very, very powerful spell. So
Yeah.
that one I don't want to cheap out on.
No, I completely understand. I was just asking for clarity's sake.
Yeah.
So do we need to go steal diamonds from someone? Is that what I'm hearing?
You
So,
now have
Daryl, how do
access
you
to the
handle that? Do you
university's
just do-
collections. You
Always
may visit
the
the
thief.
geological
Always the thief.
or geology section.
So, Daryl, when you have a component's worth X amount, do you allow? Is that your DM rule? You allow them to just use 300 gold instead? Because I know that's what it's been in the games I've played. I don't know what your rule is.
Okay, so I honestly I hadn't really thought this through. Okay, so part of let me. I'm trying to think how we want to do this. Let's see. It depends if we want to make this like. Oh, okay, wait. I'm gonna think really careful about this one. Okay, so this isn't a final decision, but one of the things is I would like it not to be like the X-Men, where you just die and come back over and over and over again. Like if you actually have to use the spell Revivify, I kind of want to make it like worth something, actually kind of meaningful, and it's the price that you have to pay for it. So I kind of would like it to be an actual diamond. The thing is, I'm not exactly sure where you're gonna get it, and that might actually be an interesting story hook for you to actually get a diamond that's that expensive. So, but I also don't. And if that were to happen, then that means somebody has to play like an extra NPC character or whatever in the interim while you guys revive the original character.
See, with
That
mine,
actually sounds fun.
if we do that, like if you don't take that spell, I know personally, I've disturbingly enough gotten used to making another character, so I always have a backup character going.
Very, very first edition.
I mean, it's not it feels awful to have, but I always do have a backup character. So if you don't take Revivify, I know personally I can bounce back mentally from it, but I don't know, everyone else is
Okay, so clearly
probably
Jake is
gonna want you to take
volunteering to
that.
be the sacrificial lamb here.
If there has to be one, I've been through it before, and I don't wish that on anybody else, and would take that hit for the team.
Okay.
Oh my god, if you do that though, like you're gonna mess up our PNG tubers and like everything else. So please don't.
Yes, but then Dagmar would finally respect Zavarin.
What?
If he died for the party, Dagmar would finally respect him.
No,
Just
she
think
wouldn't.
about it.
I don't
Yeah,
know
no, you're
about
right. You're not at all.
I don't think so. I think Dagmar would more of be like, I'd respect you more if that worked and you didn't die.
Okay.
Hello?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Okay.
Got a lot of factors going on there.
Dun, 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 dun. Where did I put that thing? Nobody laughed at my 3 stones make a wall joke. It was just too deep cut.
Oh
Didn't
my
deliver it
God.
quite right.
You're carrying that over from the last episode.
I am every episode is a Festivus episode for me. Every single episode is me to air my grievances.
The airing of grievances.
Oh, but yeah, should we? I put this in our Discord, but should we start the stream over when we start the game session? Like restart it.
No, I want them. Whatchamacallit? This is a very film verite. What was it called?
Okay.
Whatever you believe, that's what you get.
Where did I put this thing? Where did I put this? Huh. Who? That's weird.
Funny thing is like fighter doesn't really do too much for me right now because it's only 1 level in fighter.
Oh, silly me.
Yeah.
Looking at the wrong thing.
I have a question for Anna, actually.
Yeah. What's up?
Anna and Daryl, we're actually live right now.
Yeah.
But I just got a Twitch notification on my phone where the Twitch notification says Alt AC Archeo Gaming with Lexi Henning #ArcaCon 2022.
I
It's
have
not
the
out.
window open. I already updated it. I should have changed it.
Yeah.
I changed it
Yeah,
on
it's
Twitch and I changed it on
updated for me.
YouTube.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it might have caught late, but we can change it at the end if it's still doing that.
I'm just checking.
Yeah. Is anyone getting ads? Because if so, we need to turn that off.
No, everything's fine. It seems.
That's good.
Okay. All right. Let me see. Oh yeah, my friend commented on one of the videos. I can't remember which one it was though.
Got a comment? Be still, my beating heart.
Okay. Dun, 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 dun.
Whoa, I didn't even know I had this. Okay. That would have helped in the past. Never mind.
Okay. Anyways, so okay. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Anyways, does anybody else need help with their level up? Let's see.
I have a question about a trait that I just picked up.
A trait?
A trait? No, not a trait. A feature.
Okay. Shoot.
I have. I took 1 level in fighter.
Okay.
And I have fighting style. So my fighting style I selected was dueling,
Yeah.
which states that when you are wielding a melee weapon in one hand and no other weapons, you gain a +2 bonus to damage rolls with that weapon.
Yeah.
So if I'm using my longsword, we were talking about last time. If I choose to use the longsword in one hand, then I add.
If you use
do
it
I do that
one-handed, it's a
manually?
D8. If you do two-handed, it's a D10. So presumably, what they're saying is you either have to do one hand like a rapier, or it's like a one sword in your hand and the other hand's a shield.
Okay, so but it says you gain a +2 bonus or damage rolls with that weapon. Do I have to manually add that? Because it doesn't look like it's adding it under my actions. That's just a manual thing I have to remember to do if I'm swinging one-handed.
I don't know what you're using right now. If you're using D&D Beyond or whatever, but there's probably something you can toggle.
I
or
don't
like a little
see
thing
it,
you can
so I'm
add
just
in.
gonna have to
Yeah.
make a note of that unless it shows up when I hit the button or something.
Okay. All right. So let me review from last time. Last time on Goblin Town. So everybody was sacrificing little animals and using their blood to summon evil entity with their Ouija boards. Anyways. No. Okay, so let me actually... Do I have everything up?
When Daryl said everyone sacrificed and stopped there, I fully thought he said everyone was sacrificed, and because I didn't take notes last time, I would have believed that. So
Everybody roll a new character.
yeah, real quick.
So you were able to activate all 5 of the statues. You were able to activate the protection circle and able to exorcise the alien entities known as the gremlins. So that was largely it for the last session. A massive battle. You had to hack your way through several gremlin bodies. Someone exacted their revenge on a particular gremlin eating a particular dissertation. You did not quite kill all of them. Some of them, Gradal decided to cut to the chase and activate the last statue right in the middle of battle. And you can see him still sitting on top of the statue. During this whole time, the gremlins have been munching on the collections. However, you've worked quickly and have minimized that damage. But we still have to go through inventory. Let's see. So the Professor Wrath, is describing how you have to go through inventory, and so I'm just gonna I'm just gonna focus on the pots for right now. As things that they have to be researched, or not researched, assessed. Okay. So we're gonna go through a few things. Let's see here. So she starts to go down the line and is she starts to go down the line and it's like, oh, okay, well, we have to look at this, we have to look at that. She pulls out some artifacts here for you guys to look at. I'm like, okay. And like these ones I think are still intact. And Professor Wrath continues to explain some of them. These are artifacts that are highly associated with sedentary settlements, or that's redundant with settlements, highly associated with agricultural settlements, often with societies that heavily use domesticated animals. So it's just like, we're not quite sure what they were used for, probably ritual, but yeah.
Probably ritual.
I do like that. We have to check the artifact number against the catalog. Very good. A bonus point to anyone who can figure out the reference I'm making here. If we remember last time, Professor Wrath actually smiled at Dagmar. Well, wait. Professor Wrath doesn't have face meat, so it's very difficult for her to smile. It seemed like a smile, as best as you could tell. And offered to show Dagmar a particular artifact that might be of interest to her. So Dagmar, do you agree?
Oh, God, sorry. I just realized, sorry to the stream. I realized I might have been on the wrong audio thing the entire time up until this moment. Yeah, because my PNG was dancing and particularly jumpy. I fixed it, everyone. Yeah, a particular thing from my village, I believe. That has piqued my interest. I agree. I will go and look at it.
You'll sign the waiver.
I'll sign the waiver with a fake signature, so it's not legally binding.
Everybody's looking at you when you did this, including all the archaeologists. Oh wait, no. When you sign it, one of the archaeologists pops up. I'm gonna make this. I'm gonna make it Spaghettina Francina is also a certified. Whatchamacallit? What's it called when you do like an affidavit? The
A notary?
Yeah, a notary. She's a public notary. She's a certified public notary. And she pulls out the little book, and then she makes sure that you like put in your thumbprint and that you sign, and yeah, thumbprint, signature, and she writes down her own signature next to it, saying that you did sign.
You think someone can make Dagmar do anything? You think?
Okay, then you don't have to look at the artifact.
I will go along with this.
Okay.
But I'm keeping my axe very close by.
Okay. Okay, so I don't have a an image of this, but what I can do is we can do a little bit of drawing here.
Oh, it's all kind of starting to come back to me a little bit. Didn't you show me a cloth?
Yeah. Okay. So
yeah.
I'm gonna actually.
I'm gonna make it in 2 places.
So I'm gonna make a new page, and I'm gonna bring everybody to the new page. Okay. So you can see me all draw. Okay, we're gonna zoom out a little. Okay, yeah. So what happened is they basically brought out what looked a little bit like a kind of like a carpet roll, but not that kind of thick material. But you can see that it is rolled up. Okay. Or yeah, okay. There we go. Okay, yeah, let me make this a whole lot smaller. Okay. Oh wait, sorry, it's not, that's, okay. It's got this at the end, and then again, kind of like that at the end. And it's more... Okay. Somewhere along those lines. Okay.
When I first saw this, when you drew it last week, pretty much just like this, I remember thinking that looks to me like a Christmas cracker. Those kind of Christmas presents that they hand out in the UK that break in 2 places.
Yeah. It does.
But Mike reminded me in chat that I also had a concern that the different lumps in there could be a body too. So
Why would you think it's a body? Are you going to investigate it?
Oh god. Well, but there's a telltale. I mean, you gave it away last time. A telltale like Ainu kind of pattern on the outside of that fabric, right?
Inside the fabric.
Inside. But was I able to see it? Like, was there a flash
Yes, you can see
dangling?
it because you can see it off the ends here. There's a little bit, right? So right, because it's wrapped around, but you can tell it's on the inner lining of the fabric.
Okay. And I don't have to roll for perception to notice that.
No, it's right there. You can take the fabric, lift it, and peek at it if you like.
Hey, look at it. Okay. Okay, so then knowing that, similar to how Dagmar kind of put the blinders on when she saw a sword from her culture in the ruins that we're in before in the mesa. She's just gonna go right for it and start manhandling it basically because she's like, that's mine. That's not supposed to be here. That belongs to my people. That doesn't belong here. That doesn't go here. So she's just gonna go right for it.
Okay. So, wait. So, Professor Wrath, like, welcomes you to look at it. Do you start to unravel it? Like, what do you mean you go for it?
First she's going to go over to that. Oh, I'm on roll 20. She's gonna go over to this, and she's going to kind of like unfurl it a little bit just to make sure that what she's seeing is in fact a pattern that she recognizes. And then when she realizes that, she's gonna start undoing. She's gonna try to undo this right here.
Okay.
She wants to see the entire pattern because when she sees the entire pattern, it would have a meaning behind the pattern, almost like a language.
Okay. So, everybody, what are if you are joining Dagmar in this desecration, I mean analysis of this artifact, you may roll investigation. If you're doing something else, you may roll something else.
Hey, come on, guys, let's have fun.
Yeah, come in, join in. But just don't be shy.
I-
Stick your fingers in.
Help out.
I guess I'll investigate too. Why
Yep.
not?
Come on, use your
guess
goblin
we're
intuition
just gonna
science. Start
wing it.
looking.
Yeah, but I'm leading in this investigation, so add 20 to that.
Whatever.
Anna, I'm starting to think that you don't know how this game works.
As everybody's doing an investigation, can I do a perception to see if I can uncover something different about it in terms of like the pattern or a smell that's coming forward or from it or anything like that?
You can, if you do a perception. So this is the thing that we have to kind of distinguish between investigation and perception. At least my understanding of it is perception is your senses. Your senses sense something, right? There is
Exactly.
there is a kind of visceral experience, that you're detecting. An investigation is you're trying to understand what it is, why it is, or what's happening. So investigation is used for illusions. If you think someone has like a glamour on, you can use investigation to kind of undo the glamour because you notice that they're not moving quite right, or solid objects are passing through the glamour. Perception is more like if you hear a noise or a smell or something along those lines.
So it can't be for like perception could be, but can perception be used for say seeing a detail or something like that?
Super small, tiny detail.
I would still roll that as investigation.
Perception is just eyes. Investigation is touch.
Yeah. Well, investigation is intelligence-based, so I'd imagine. So it's to figure out something about it.
Yeah.
Whereas perception is to use your senses to
Perceive.
locate it. So, whether that's why I said see a particular detail or smell something from inside.
You can still
what have
smell
you.
something. I'll give you that. But the thing is, though, remember that perception is the way I think of perception is uncontrolled, right? So if you say I'm just going to try to perceive something, then you can't be. You already have an idea of what you're looking for, or you're just looking for anomalies, right? So you might be able to find an anomaly in the fabric of this, but you're not going to understand what the anomaly is necessarily. You're just going to find that it exists or not.
Okay. Well, that's what I was thinking. Is everybody else is doing investigation. There's no way for me to help out after everybody's already doing it. So I figured with the perception, I could possibly just locate something that not everybody sees, maybe.
Okay.
But it's up to you. You're the DM. You're in charge.
That's right. I am the DM. I am in charge. Oh, the power trip. Okay.
Twisting his mustache right now.
Yeah.
You know it.
Feel it. Feel it.
Okay, let me see. So Aetheri has a 22. I already sent her a message. Genera and Zvarin and Dagmar. Okay. Oh, you got kind of middling investigations, so I'll just describe it together. So all of this is just an old fabric. It looks like a very strong, very sturdy fabric, but you can tell that it is not done on kind of machine. No, well, I mean, okay, this is where the fuzziness and then the not anarchy, the chronology, anachronistic, the anachronisticness of D&D bumps in. Right, it doesn't have quite as much precision, but you can tell that it's done with careful work. It's just a little bit uneven. It's very thick, burlappy. You notice that here and here it's bound with ropes, woven ropes. So this is all organic material as far as you can tell. Except for here, this thing is some sort of metal ring. And you're not quite sure how it got on there, seeing as how this part is a lot bigger than the ring here. The ring actually kind of pinches it right there.
Is Dagmar holding it right now?
Well,
I would.
it's like 2 meters long. Everybody, it's more than 6 feet.
I would say that Dagmar's like fingers are gripping onto this part. That's it.
And I just walk up to Dagmar and I push her back and I'm like, don't touch that. This thing is cursed.
Oh God. At first I was gonna be like, number one, tiny little half elf, can you push me? Does that work? But number two, now I'm more like, am I going to go bald like Genera? So
that's not how this works.
So out of fear for my hair, I'm gonna stand back and do what Aetheri tells me to.
I like how Dagmar's main concern is not going bald versus being cursed.
Well, I think of all the effects done by cursed objects to characters in this campaign thus far. You're the only one with like a note, like what Dagmar considers to be a noticeable effect,
even though it has nothing to do with it.
Okay. So, Professor Wrath once again gives a very toothy grin, pats Aetheri on the shoulder. Clever girl, you noticed. In fact,
Shrug her hand off my shoulder. Don't touch me.
it's a very quick, light pat. You would make
Politely
a good graduate
removes.
student. Professor Wrath explains that that she wouldn't have normally brought out this artifact, except under special circumstances, and the fact that we've activated the protection circle is one of those special circumstances. And in fact, she's actually willing to open and unwrap it if you're willing to do so.
But she would do it.
Yeah. Professor Wrath would do it.
Oh yeah, go for it, lady. It's fine.
Okay. All right. So, Professor Wrath kind of it begins to explaining that it begins to. Wait, here we go. Oops. She begins to sort of paw at and finger the bindings at either end, and she very carefully, gingerly undoes them, and she actually calls for some of the other archaeologists to bring in notes. Right, we're doing an unwrapping, so we'll take this opportunity to record as much information as possible, and with as many eyes as possible, and then later on we can put this and store it away for safekeeping. Right, this is a sensitive object, sensitive artifact. She does undo the bindings on either end of it, but then she says, but then she points at the one here, this metallic one. And here, I'll show you. And she explains that she will undo the other bindings, but she will not undo this particular one, the metallic one.
Uh-huh. Well, but oh.
Why does it have teeth?
That is very interesting.
Oh.
I'm intrigued.
Multiple teeth. At least 2 sets.
So if you can see it, it actually has that kind of set of the lump and set of teeth, and it's a pattern that repeats all the way around the metallic ring.
Mhm.
Is it made of a metal very similar to the one that we found on the mesa?
Yes, it is.
And is this an eye, and then this is another eye, and this is a snoot? Is that right? It's another snoot right there, right?
Using your own cultural bias, yes, it does seem to be that. Okay.
Okay.
Actually, Dagmar, roll Arcana with advantage.
As if I didn't already have a disadvantage.
Advantage.
Advantage. Okay.
Dagmar.
I'm better. I'm improved. Okay. My mood has improved. I'll take it.
Excellent.
Give me that intel.
Typing on Butterfingers.
My Arcana senses are tingling. The artifact is unfamiliar, but the senses are telling me that it reminds me of something Fenrir. It reminds me of Fenrir. That's what my senses are telling me.
Can any of us remember what the possibly remember what the name and the implications of the name Fenrir are? Michael, the archaeologist, knows, but
Same. I
Brad,
also
the
know, but
Goblin, does not.
I'd like to know if I can do a little history check there to see if Zvarin knows anything.
Okay. So if anyone else wants to do this, you can roll Arcana, but not at advantage. Regular.
Oh, Arcana.
Yes.
Okay.
Dagmar, you can ask me another question in chat, and I'll give it to you.
Anything I want?
Specifically about Fenrir.
Okay.
Nicely done, Zvarn. And a theory.
Yeah,
oh
thank
my
you. Thank you very much.
goodness.
Why? What
with these rolls? What the hell?
I roll so well in this campaign. Sometimes I
theory
swear to God.
Okay, a theory can't steal it if she doesn't know it exists. Okay, that's why she's so good here.
Theory can't steal it if she doesn't know what it. Classic.
Actually, I don't really have too much of a question in my brain right now. I was about to say something, but that wasn't true to Dagmar's backstory, so I'm actually good. Let's rip it off, guys.
No, wait, hold on. I have a question for Professor Rat.
Yes.
Who? There's a finger bone in here. Who does that belong to?
What?
Okay.
What?
Okay. Just to make things a little bit easier, Svarin, since you rolled so high, you may use your Jake the player's knowledge to explain what Fenrir is. So it'll
And we're gonna have that,
it'll
that
follow
lore
very
is just
similar
gonna.
vein. So Gravel
Okay,
and Genera, because you rolled a 13, Fenrir you think sounds kind of vaguely something from the northwest. You're not quite sure. Kind of Viking-ish. Sounds like a monster or something. Not quite sure. Professor Wrath once again looks at a theory with a little glimmer in her eye, like you're a very promising student of theory. That is a finger bone. It's so there's a finger bone right there. And Professor Wrath is. Professor Wrath explains that she. Let me think here. I'm trying to think of how to. Okay. Professor Wrath explains that she knows whose finger bone it is, but she did not meet them. And that the finger bone is there because of the ring. And also the reason why she doesn't want to take off the ring.
Yeah, because that ring bites people.
Again, Professor Wrath begins to stroke her bony chin. How did you know that?
Because it has 2 sets of teeth and a finger bone.
That's fair.
That's about all I know.
So Professor Wrath turns to Professor Onumlik Jigfedkaba and explains that this object here, this ring, is a similar cursed artifact to the ones he's found at the dig. And what she's explaining is that the artifacts are interesting in that they have certain kinds of magical properties or effects or abilities. Some of them are greater or lesser than others, but they often are kind of strange. They often come with some sort of price, and just generally she doesn't like them very much. Because she finds them relatively, not frequently, but she finds them regularly, but they're often in a weird context and she doesn't quite sure what they are or what they're there for, so it kind of irritates her to have them there. She says for this particular one, this is a ring that, from her research, the ring closes in, like it shrinks. And it'll keep shrinking as long as you're telling it to shrink and you have your finger in it. But once you take your finger out of it, it'll stop shrinking. But it is an indestructible ring. So from her research, this ring is clamped on to something inside, basically binding it. And to make sure that that binding holds, whoever did it sacrificed their finger to make sure it held tight, right? So tight that it took their finger off with it. And so that's why it's a Fenrir trap, because it bites off a person's a bit of their hand in using it.
Question.
Yes.
What's this? The thing that it's wrapped around, what's this made of? A fabric?
The fabric is just a woven fabric. I don't know. Some sort of it's just a plant fiber.
Can we not cut it?
Professor Rath looks at you. We are taking assessment of our inventory to see how much was damaged, and you're wanting to add to that?
I'm just
Failure.
asking.
Get out of my class. I feel like looks
I'll
over
go
at
into
Theory
the
like pulls her
dunce
closer.
chair and put
I
my
like this
dunce
one.
cap on.
Somebody didn't show up in his best student mode today.
Apparently not.
Professor,
Yes.
Professor, correct me if I'm wrong, but your goal here is to see what's inside here, but you're hesitant to destroy the fabric material itself, correct?
Yes. You can still undo it and unfurl it. You just can't. She's just not going to undo that one part of the binding.
So you are familiar with what's inside then?
I am familiar, but I haven't actually really examined it very closely.
Yeah.
But didn't you say that you'd be willing to, as long as you don't take apart that ring from that portion of it, you'd be willing to unwrap the other portions?
Yes.
So
Do it,
you said that if you touch it, it will bite you?
No. It's a ring that shrinks and grows, but it's like indestructible, right? So if you want to bind something permanently, like forever, you put your finger in it and you basically cause it to shrink and shrink and shrink and shrink and shrink so much that it actually takes your finger with it as it shrinks down. And then once you let go of it, losing your finger, whatever you've bound can never get the ring off of it.
Interesting.
Guys, I think we could make it big enough to go around Zavarin's snout.
Wait,
Oh my god.
hold on. I do not have that spell.
To grow back your finger
What?
spell because you're a lizard?
No. Haha, I was gonna say enlarge reduce.
Well, to be fair, and this is why I interjected after Zavarin suggested cutting the bag, wouldn't a simple mending spell simply repair any damage to the bag?
Potentially.
So Professor Wrath, begins to unfurl it slightly. And then she's showing you inside the pattern. It's a very intricate kind of looping pattern with blues and blacks and reds and golds. And you can see that it looks a little bit, how can I put this? It looks a little bit like ivy. Not in a literal sense, but the way it sort of swirls and binds itself. And then she's pointing out that part of this pattern is magical, right? That this fabric is a kind of protective fabric, but the magical words are written on the inside of it, right? And so she would rather not risk damaging the bindings of this magic spell by cutting it recklessly.
Understood. It was simply just a simple question.
Okay. And you can see she's getting
Okay.
very irritated. So she looks at each one of you in turn, asks questions, and kind of like scowls, but look at Etheria and smiles. Okay.
Oh god.
Clearly she has favorites.
Dagmar's got a question for the DM.
Yes.
I might be able to just say rather than typing as I am right now.
Yeah.
Depending on the pattern, it can be read like a message, right? So, because these patterns are inspired by Ainu patterns. So can Dagmar read a pattern that old, or even can she see the whole thing? Given that the ring is going to stay where it is, and the entire pattern can't be fully, spread out.
You can get the gist of it.
What is the gist of it?
Okay, so this we're going to show my ignorance. Okay, so I did not think of it as a literal message. I didn't realize it's a literal message, like a writing language. As far as I know, they didn't have a writing language, so I'm still kind of unsure of what you mean by that, Anna, the archaeologist.
Oh my god. It kind of works like kanji in a way that, like, depending on the type of pattern and like the different kinds of designs that go into the pattern, they have different meanings. So you can inject a certain meaning into a blanket or a fabric piece or clothing.
Okay,
depending on what pattern you put on it.
My question is a little bit like, so I mean, okay, so now we've fallen into the archaeology trap. Thank you very much. I love this. Okay.
Oh, shit.
Okay. Because right, when you're talking about written language, you're having some sort of you have some sort of pictograph to represent an abstract thought. But when you have more like an ideogram, like that of a like an emoji, it's it's representing something, but you're not necessarily taking a literal meaning from it. Not like you don't read it like a sentence. So that's where I'm a little bit unsure, because I don't. Right, you can, like, if you have a heart, right? A heart is supposed to be affection. You can draw hearts on things like that, but the heart could just be, is it a heart like you love someone, or is it hearts like this is girly, right? Like, there's kind of an open-endedness that I would assume from these sorts of symbols. So I'm not exactly sure how precise of a message I'm going to be able to do here.
It would be a little bit more open-ended.
Okay.
Leaning towards that way, like a pattern meaning fire, or a pattern meaning comfort, or a pattern meaning danger, that kind of thing, right? But of course, you said it's a very, very old pattern, and so Dagmar might not be able to interpret it. Oh, come on, Daryl, really? No, shit. Okay, would she know that? Would she? So you're telling me this? Does she know it?
Okay, I'm gonna I'm gonna do this.
We have an Adam in chat. Hello. Oh, like a ward? Okay. And you're saying clearly, so I'm assuming she's picking up on this. Guys, this is not a good pattern to have on a cloth. This, I see now.
Said the blind man to the deaf man.
I would also say that whoever put this together, should have put the pattern on the outside, not the inside. So, there's that, but we should all
go ahead,
step away
Dagmar,
from this
explain that.
immediately. Huh?
Explain that.
Well, guys, the pattern sorry. Guys, the pattern on this cloth is from my culture. It's from the villages up north, and it's very, very old. And what it means is, no, I'm not going to lick the rug. Thanks, guys. Thanks a bunch. No, what it means is, it's telling us that there's danger here. It's indicating that this is an anti-demon monster charm warding protection pattern on this rug thing cloth. We need to get as far away from this as possible. Why would this, Dr. Wrath, why would this be sitting here, not even in glass or anywhere? This needs to be kept in a room away from people. Why would you just have it out on display in your library?
Because we're doing
So
assessment of the
you're in the
inventory. That's
museum?
why it's out.
Oh. Carry on.
Would you say this belongs in a museum?
I would say that this belongs underground. That's what I would say. What are you people thinking?
I would agree with Dagmar. If this thing is a danger to people, then with all due respect for Professor Wrath, to hell with your inventory.
Well, that's the whole point. That's why we have the protection circle, right? That's why I'm only willing to do it now.
You need to repatriate it immediately.
Not every burial is sacred. No laugh there. I really shouldn't laugh like that.
All right.
Yeah. Yes, it is. That's the point of a burial.
Whatever. Yeah,
whose finger is that, Professor Rath?
Whoever wanted to seal this and make sure it didn't get out. That's why I'm not gonna unbind it.
I was really hoping he was gonna say something like, the whole party looks down and notices that Dr. Wrath is missing a finger.
That would be kind of funny. But no, she has all her fingers. All 11 of them.
I was just going to say, because if you don't say anything in response to that, I'm going to ask if I can perceive if she has all her fingers. I mean, do we want to try and open it? Is that what we're trying to do?
Uh,
Because if we're trying to do that, I have a mage hand that cannot lose a finger. So
hold on. I still think that we should keep the ring onto the portion of the cloth that it's on, given that the cloth is saying, anti-demon monster protection kind of stuff. So I think we should leave the ring on, but since we've unraveled it enough that I can see the pattern, is there anything else inside the cloth? I mean, it clearly was, something was wrapped in it. Is there anything else in there as it was opened enough, like that much?
Well, this is what I have drawn, so here we go.
Oh, you just casually have that drawn. Okay. Not so casual. I see.
But clearly, you're gonna
I
have to
mean-
imagine, right, that right here is very, very hidden, right? Because it's gonna be like a dog cone, right? Because you're gonna have it wrapped like this and then like that, right? And it's just really bound right here and all tied up, so you can't see it.
Oh my god.
I mean, she did say unwrapping party.
Did you so the artifacts around the remains here, they're not an actual size, are they? Otherwise,
Those are
that's a
blown up so
really
you can
cute-
see it. If you zoom in, you can see where I tucked them in.
Okay, because that's a super cute axe. I might want that, but never mind.
You're gonna steal it off the body? That's terrible. Right, so, okay, wait, no.
Interesting stuff here.
So you're saying the ring is right
So
here.
Yeah,
so I'm
yeah.
that's the axe there. This charm over here is right there.
Mm-hmm.
And then this charm is over here.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Daryl,
Yeah.
did you just make Emotep?
I did not make Imhotep.
Did I just get a movie spoiler?
Imhotep was
I mean-
born.
If you want a movie spoiler from a movie that came out
I
20
don't.
years ago,
I
I mean,
I don't.
and if you haven't seen that movie, we're gonna have to do a watch party.
I'm down.
I'm really concerned.
I'm down.
You
I'm
haven't-
actually.
Yeah, you haven't
Hold on.
seen the
Hold
Mummy?
on. Pause.
Oh, the
This.
mummy? Okay, I thought
Anna-
you guys. Wait, no, shut up.
Anna.
Yep,
Have you seen this movie?
I have. I thought I wasn't looking at it written out in chat. I thought you guys were talking about the thing that you guys were talking about in Bry's server about Prey. Never mind. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Because girl was
I
taking
thought we were
notes on
literally
that.
about to cancel the rest of the D&D session and watch The Mummy. because
No,
I was
no,
like,
no,
"Dude,
no.
I'm
I've seen that
scared."
a while ago.
Now, very important question.
Yes.
The original Brendan Fraser Mummy, not that horrible
Yeah,
Tom Cruise
yes.
movie,
I
correct?
love
Yes.
the Tom Cruise
The
one.
Tom Cruise movie didn't exist.
Anna,
not
we are
talking
no
about
longer
that.
friends.
Anna, you just got disowned by your party.
I, as the DM, am currently holding a Blu-ray copy of the Tom Cruise Mummy in his hands
There we
right
go.
now. I will even turn on my camera so you can see me in the Discord chat or Discord voice channel. I don't know if it'll
No.
Mummy.
Why do you have that
I
next
haven't
to
Thank
seen
you.
it, so I can't judge.
Why do you
Gerald
have
was
that next to
critiquing
you?
it before, but then he watched it again and ended up liking it. I bet.
No, I've always liked the movie. Okay, this is my soapbox. The movie is 95% likable, but the last 5%, the last 10 minutes of the movie, just drive it into a brick wall and leave such a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, that was pretty much. Yeah. That was a pretty apt description, actually.
I enjoyed it, but I agree with Daryl. It comes apart at the end there quite a bit.
Just a tiny bit.
Just a bit, yeah.
I had hopes for it, but anyways.
Okay. Mummy's alive.
All right. As we're looking down at this, that Dagmar just did not pay attention to, and she was so absorbed with the cloth pattern. She's gonna turn around and look at Dr. Wrath and say, just who is this? And her eyes are just squinting, and she's glaring at the professor at this point.
She smiles at you and it's like, you, Dagmar, should know.
Oh,
What?
that's not good.
Dagmar, who did you kill?
I didn't kill anyone. She's
I don't
implying
believe
that
that.
she has taken someone that I know. Oh.
I say
Never
we-
mind. Hold on. We're good. We're good now.
Oh, are we?
Yeah. Yep. I got it. Dr. Wrath sent me a DM. She slid into my DMs right now, and she's saying, clearly a demon that your ancestor banished. This is now your boogeyman instead of Gradal's bar guest from the first session.
Anna,
Oh,
read it with
are we
emotion, okay?
opening
Don't be so flat when you read the script.
I missed that. Who is that?
It's Anna reading subtext. Don't read the stage notes when you're acting, Anna.
Sorry.
Dagmar Edzik stage left.
Okay. Anyways, you got it. Go for it, Dagmar. Run with it now. Run with it. Run like the wind.
I'll run with it. You shouldn't have. Did you remove this? Did you remove this from the north? Did you bring this body down with you? Did you take this?
Yes, well, obviously it's here.
I say we
That
open
was a
it.
mistake. All the gremlins, everything that has happened might have been because you removed this. This is a demon.
Let's open it.
No.
Oh, Perkta. Perkta's not a demon. Perkta's irritating, but she's not a demon.
No, we're looking at a demon right here on this table.
Yeah, but Perkta's gone now.
It has
What
nothing to
have
do with
you done?
Perkta. It's this thing.
She looks at you blankly.
Professor,
'Cause-
whatever, you need to explain yourself right now.
Well, I'm explaining it right now. So she begins to explain all the material that's involved in the creation here to all the archaeologists, and they're quickly writing down notes, scribbling furiously. So she's sort of pointing out at the fabric. Its weaving patterns, sources of plant material for it. She points out the pteranodon head, and the catfish head, and then the battle axe. Okay. Charms. Let's see. Pteranodon associated with watchfulness. A catfish associated with endurance. And then an axe. Right. So for war. Clearly charms to help bind this thing in here. And let me see then. Also explains some of the patterns on the fabric. And she basically launches further into a lecture. You may interrupt her as you wish.
Yeah, so Fenrir was the mythical creature that bit off a god's arm, right?
Yeah.
So does this mummy have two arms wrapped under there?
Oh no. This is something that again she turns to Professor Anamlik Fedkaba about any of these artifacts that he finds, is that they tend to get passed around. Right, they seem to be indestructible. People find them and they just pass down from generation to generation to generation, and so they lose a lot of context, especially since people can't do anything to them. They can't paint. Well, I guess they can paint them, but they can't scratch them. They can't mend them. They can't do anything to them, so they just sort of float everywhere. so this Fenrir ring is an example of that. That this group had this thing in the wrapping, and they also had the artifact, and so they realized, like, oh wait, we can use this artifact to bind this thing, and then kick it into a hole somewhere so that it won't bother anyone anymore.
Right.
That's smart.
I resist the urge to loot the body.
Oh my god.
Roll a wisdom save.
Oh, no.
What?
Okay. A 6 of theory. Ooh, you begin to
Oh my
sweat. Beads of sweat
God.
drop down your brow. Your fingers are twitching.
I won't do it. I won't do it. Dagmar, hold me back.
I will. Can we have a goblin huddle?
Okay. Go ahead,
like-
have a goblin huddle. Everyone is
Okay.
drawing now. All of the archaeologists are practicing their sketching, their stippling. They are comparing all of the fabric colors to their Munsell charts, right? And everything. The whole kit and caboodle.
God. Oh my god.
There's some rubbings of the artifacts.
God, they should join the Archeo Art Discord server. All right. All right. So just the 5 of us, we're off in a corner. Guys, this does not sit right with me at all.
Nor me. This is totally against the natural order of things.
This is gonna have some consequences if we leave this here, and if she's she's not explaining herself, but this might have something to do with Perkta. And already it's having consequences by being here, and it shouldn't be here.
Where should it be?
This has to be buried up by the villages up north. I don't know if I can get back there though. This was they dug it up and they brought it here, but it was never supposed to be.
So
I mean,
should
what-
we repatriate?
I'm thinking so. I'm not sure if I'll be able to go with you guys, but
Well,
it can't be here.
Why not?
I and Dagmar's just getting completely like her voice is fading. She doesn't have the words to explain. So she just her voice is cracking, but she just keeps swatting it off, and she's just like, "No, I can't, but I can get you close." And this can't be here. This is gonna have so many consequences, and it doesn't seem like this Wrath Lady cares about that. That is driving me crazy. Sorry, Mike.
No, it seems that these people really don't care about how their activities are affecting the lives of other people, or how people might be in danger if there are nefarious things being drawn to this thing.
Students, everyone here, and what they, not only their safety while they're here, but what they take away from this when they leave this place. This is not good. Students like her. And then Dagmar points at a theory. Young, impressionable students like her. And like, yeah.
What specifically being it buried near your villages, like what specifically about that, like could we just take it and bury it someplace else, or does it specifically have to be buried near your villages?
It's always been done that way. The bodies have never been removed, and they've never caused us trouble. traditionally it's what's always been done. We'd have to talk to someone more knowledgeable about this than myself, from where this thing originated. I have such concern about it being here. We tried this sort of thing. We tried to, de-escalate and keep it in one place, and now I have so much concern about it being somewhere where people will maybe dig up again in the future and put in a museum again in the future. Whereas everyone in the villages up north will know not to touch it, not to dig it up, and if we were to see something like this, we wouldn't disturb it again.
Well, and it makes me wonder, if they have something like this, what else do they have?
That's a concern of mine too. Don't they owe us? Don't they owe us for everything we did? We saved the campus not too long ago. Don't they owe us something? I mean, this is a huge ask, but there's got to be, of all the archaeologists here for this conference, there's got to be a group of them who don't know what's happening here or might agree with us. Someone has to have some reason here.
Can I interrupt just for a second?
Okay.
I just want to interrupt. This is where a theory pulls out an abacus and starts counting. Yes, someone owes us something. Let's see, 10 gold, 20 gold.
Speaking about that, if I look around, where has Helgreen of Rockbottom vanished to? Can I see her anywhere?
Yes.
Okay. So, right. You only have a handful of archaeologists with you. This would be Connecticut Goldstein, Dr. Ishino Iwao, Professor Anamlik Jigfedkaba, a couple of other. I'm gonna wait. I said Spaghettina Franicina, right? I can't remember what was she doing earlier. Okay, but just a few of them filtered in. But you don't have Helgarina just yet. So I mean, if you want, just for story purposes, we can have her walk in. So I think that's what you're kind of getting at. You want her help for something.
If we do that, can we make it canon that one of us has the idea, like, where did she go, and then one of us snaps our fingers and she disappears?
Well, then we're just gonna do this as a sort of like speak of the devil and the devil appears kind of thing. Where's Helgarina? Oh, there she is.
Snaps my fingers. Okay, so then if she just wanders in, could you tell us if she comes straight towards us, or does she get excited by what she's seeing and joins the other Archies over by the remains?
Well, I mean, she comes to you, so she walks up. She comes to you, and
nice.
she asks, well, "What's happening? What are we doing here?"
Oh. Does anyone else want to explain to her? I'm like, I would say that at this point, Dagmar's probably in a bit of an emotional state.
Well, let's just say that we're very concerned about Professor Rath's and the university's ethics regarding the treatment of human remains and the endangering of the university and its students. And I explain what happened with the demon, the anti-demon wrap thing. Basically, the giant demon burrito is what I explained to her.
Hey,
Wait. So Helgarina looks at you
that.
strangely. She says, like, there's a demon in there, but you said human remains. Which is it?
Demon remains, or
It's
possession.
It's
Yeah.
both.
Big
There was
head, 2 feet.
someone sacrificed a finger bone in order to seal that thing in there, but Wrath very recklessly and unethically decided to dig it up from where it was in the northwest and bring it here.
Okay, and then Helgarina is like, kind of like, raises an eyebrow, raises 2 eyebrows, raises 3 eyebrows, and then
What?
it's like, okay, She asks you a few questions to confirm whatever it is, whatever's happening, right? So she's just kind of quizzical and kind of confused at the moment.
Well, we explain everything in detail. I mean, we've already talked about how about the danger of the cursed artifacts that have already caused at least 2 deaths and 1 kidnapping, and who knows what this might potentially cause or have already caused.
Wait.
Happen.
She's kind of she's still a little bit kind of lost. So she's like, that thing brought in the gremlins.
And I for that I look to Dagmar, because I think Dagmar, you were the one who suggested that the Perkta and the Gremlins were here as a result of this thing, right?
Yeah. So Rock Lady Bottom. It might be related. Demons are different. I'm getting messages from DM. All demons are different. I'm not sure about this. Whoa, I'm getting spoilers from the DM even. I'm not sure about this one. I only know that when we were talking about demons in Gremlins era, this particular body, Dr. Wrath, mentioned Perkta and kept trying to deflect to Perkta. We don't know the relation, but it could be that it's related, or it could be that this demon could bring out far worse, as the ones in the history of my villages have brought out far worse. It could be that this would draw in other creatures too.
Okay, so again, lifts an eyebrow, lifts a second eyebrow, lifts a third eyebrow.
Oh my god.
So she's like, okay, then what do you want me to do about it?
Law enforcement?
I'm not law enforcement. I'm just a shippo. I mean,
isn't that kind of like your job? Aren't you like in charge of making sure that?
Well,
in Clark, not up here in Oak Ridge.
That's right.
But here's the other thing: if this was taken ostensibly without permission and without permit from Dagmar's people and brought here, isn't that theft no matter what the jurisdiction is?
Theft? Well, okay. Again, like if you're talking just straight up theft, then you're like looking at the wrong person, right? You need to be talking to the guards about it. You need to be talking to the mayor about it. So, I could possibly petition them on your behalf, but again, like, this isn't exactly my job, guys.
I mean, we could always tell my village that this is happening.
And don't you guys remember, didn't you go visit the market where there's a lot of stolen goods?
Yeah.
In Oak Ridge, yeah.
Just the overwhelming scale of the problem has us all depressed.
Yeah. We could move.
Because why shouldn't the D&D game depress us any more than fucking reality does?
You guys have weapons, you have spells. If you'd like, you can just assault Professor Wrath right now and take it for yourselves, right? That's what D&D's for.
I'm tapped. I used all my spell slots on those freaking statues.
So you don't have to do things now. You wait, and you plan, you scheme, and you steal it later. Come on, that is classic D&D. You have a theory. A theory is built to steal. You've seen her do it.
I'm carrying this one though.
Like, it took us 3 years to level up 2 times, right? This woman's had like 3,000 years.
I mean, well, that's why we don't deal with her head on. We figure out a plan, and
we should come back at night.
But
and take it.
But I wonder though if we have to work, like if So right now, the reason why they've unwrapped this thing and are looking at it and poking and prodding it is because we have the protection bubble, as it were, in place. So that's why they feel like they're okay to deal with this right now. But clearly, Wrath has alluded to keeping it someplace else. And I wonder that if taking it, if we would potentially be not only putting ourselves in some form of danger, but also anybody else. Like if we're carrying this thing with us, between towns until we can get it back to Dagmar's village to bury it where it should be buried.
That's a good point.
I think maybe we need to look around Oak Ridge for a cleric.
Okay.
We don't have one, but somebody has to have some knowledge of how to ward or protect us from this sort of activity.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
everybody in Oak Ridge is an atheist. That's why they have no. Not to trash atheists, but that's a joke. It's a joke. But everyone's an atheist. They don't believe in gods. No clerics. That's why they're willing to take all these artifacts and sell them.
What might
kidding.
be what we could do that. We'd still have to, even if we had some protection, we'd still have to carry it. And of my knowledge of these things, where I come from, you can have all the protection you have, but if you trip on a rock and drop this thing, we're screwed. Or if something happens to that ring and even slightly comes off or just moves, we're
The ring's
done.
not going to come off.
The ring's not going to come off. So in that way, we wouldn't be done, but in other ways, we might be done. So what I'm thinking might be our only option is dealing with this for a little bit longer and seeing what else they have here, taking inventory, so to speak. And then maybe I just need to get you guys as close to my village as possible to let them know what's happening here, because they won't be happy to hear this. And then they can come and they would have all the protection and everything they'd be the best to deal with this and set fire to this whole campus in the process. Probably kill a bunch of people, but yeah.
I will have your people kill Dannyfoot. That'll be the revenge.
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
That's just cruel.
And I mean, chances are we might find stuff, very questionable stuff, that belongs to other villages on the way or other villages around, and maybe we can go and warn them of what's happening.
Okay.
To send it communities and whatnot. What do you guys think?
Well, contacting defendant communities should be the first step in any archaeological enterprise. And I basically look well over to Professor Wrath and give her the stink eye.
I thought you were going to look at the camera and say that. Like a tear rolled down your eye.
Yeah, like Jim at the office. Like Jim on the office. I just look at the camera, say that, and I look at the camera deadpan.
Well, mine was also a 70s joke, which is also kind of a bad joke. How that, what was it, the one Italian actor who played a Native American and then looked at the camera, a car throws trash out the window as it goes down the highway.
He was Italian.
Yeah, he was Italian. He was Italian.
He was Italian, and that ad was paid for by the disposable container industry to shift the blame for littering onto the American public.
My God.
There you go, everybody.
The more you know.
Slightly reminds me of Cannibal the Musical, which I watched, I think, my birthday last year, the year before, where they had a Native American tribe in the movie, and it was entirely played by Japanese actors speaking in Japanese the whole time.
Now that I know this thing about the trash thing, I'm gonna look at Mike and be like every time like, or like just I'm gonna litter now. I'm just gonna litter and be like, Mike told me that this is because of the disposable like container industry. It's their fault.
Oh my god.
Anyways, digressions. Okay, so what's your plan, everybody?
Should we do that? Would you guys travel with me and alert people of what's going on, given that there's no getting through them. They don't care. They don't care here. And you know, Lithic Bottom over there can't help worth a shit. So, no offense, lady. You mean well and all, you just can't do anything, can you?
You know, you guys keep messing up on my name. That's kind of racist.
I'm so sorry. Helgarina Rock Bottom, forgive me, but you've done all you can and we appreciate it. It won't get through to them, will it?
She kind of sighs, her shoulders sag a little bit, and like, yeah, probably. You're probably right.
You want to come with us and do some freelance?
She's like, freelance? Do you have a health plan? Do you offer PTO, sick days, maternity leave?
Life insurance.
No, I plan on living a little while longer, thank you.
Fair enough,
Okay.
lady.
That's okay. That's the life of adventuring, you know? The salary is decent, but the benefits suck.
Yeah. So what do you say, gang?
Yeah, I think to fully understand like what is going on here and knowing if this is the only dangerous uh, cultural item that they have or if there are others, and figuring out a way to deal with the situation in a way that is going to hopefully cause the least amount of harm to innocent people.
Yeah, I mean, we're just a group of folks that were brought together under circumstances trying to do the right thing, and I don't think we're going to be able to do that with the folks that are in places like this. So, I mean, if we want to get to the bottom of these cursed objects and stuff too, we could ask around as we go from place to place and figure out why we can't get that tiara off your bald head.
Okay.
They might know.
Okay, I'm going to interrupt here because I need to stop Dagmar from gaslighting all of you. Dagmar said that you all gathered here together by chance to like do good things. I want you to remember second session. Dagmar showed up yelling and screaming that bounty for the bar guest was hers. She needed a cut because it was hers, and she threatened the mayor.
Character growth, Daryl. It's called character growth.
I also remember Dagmar repeatedly trying to feed me to large
There's this
reptiles.
voice. There's this voice. I don't know what this voice
And
is.
also trying to steal a tent from a bunch of poor working class field technicians.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
okay.
like,
Dagmar, you're a
What?
hero. You're a hero in all of our eyes. Go.
wait, what?
I don't want this to be pick on Dagmar Day. I just wanted to like remind everybody of session number 2. That's why.
She's not freaking perfect. But she's not in it for the money anymore.
Okay.
Her eyes have opened.
The scales have fallen away.
A theory. What do you think of this plan? What do you think?
I'll go to your village and with the group and help explain. But I agree with Janera that we should probably continue the inventory and see what else is here.
Yeah. Yeah, we should do that. And to the best of our knowledge, see what items are associated with what groups that we can potentially travel to. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, Professor, what else do you have here?
I let Theory do all the
Raph.
talking.
Yeah, can we help with the inventory you're cataloging?
Wink.
So she's like, sure, great. This is this is a good opportunity now that we've started. She basically leads you down into some of the archival rooms, and there are bins and bins and bins of what is it called? Like rock detritus, flaking. Lots and lots and lots of arrowheads with locations.
Debitage.
Debitage, yes.
Sabotage.
A few, there's an inordinate amount of I'm forgetting my words. I'm trying to think. What's it? I need to look it up. A
Say
little bit.
fire cracked rock.
Oh, God.
I was about to cringe really hard.
I'm sorry, don't you mean fire modified rock?
Right. Fire.
Some even prefer fire burnt rock.
CRD.
Oh yeah. It's a very large, inordinate amount of coprolites.
Oh, nice.
For fire modified artifacts, you see some bones that have been burned and cracked. And you notice that the chronology of those bones, the bones that are burnt and cracked, they actually end up in like two different places. And she explains that some are from, tens of thousands of years ago, which seem to indicate signs of cooking. But there are some that are more recent that seem to be associated with oracle bones. So you see like burnt turtle shells and the like.
How do the rocks indicate signs of cooking, Daryl? Tell us. Tell us now. Put the DM on the spot.
I'm gonna let you guys do that for the Digging the Goblin Town sessions, okay? Right? Sarah's around here. She's in the chat. Oh no, she was in the chat.
No,
I'm gonna make her
she
like
took
grill
off.
you later about that because you guys need to explain that.
Oh, fire cursed rocks. I love that.
Okay. Well, what else? What I'm thinking else? So braided like materials, like braided ropes. Let's see, what else could survive fairly long time? Maybe some copper axes, some Clovis points. I'm trying to think, what's another good thing to have?
What cataloging system do you use here, Professor? And in terms of properly labeling artifacts, do you use an easily reversible lacquer such as Paraloid B72?
Dewey Decimal System, and of course. Okay. You know what? I need to come up with an archivist. I need to come up with a dwarf archivist. All right. I'm trying to think of what's... But basically, it's a very, very, very large collection, okay?
Now, also as another question,
yes.
Given that you have such a large collection, Professor, do you focus primarily on collections-based research, as so much of this collection still needs to be analyzed and published, or are you continually focusing on new excavations when there's really no need to do so?
Well, Professor Rath is like, I am a professor with... Remember that I believe I remember at the other session that Professor Rath actually has tenure at prestigious university, which is from Westgate. She helped found the University of Oakbridge, but she doesn't like regularly hold she's like, I guess, an associate professor, not an actual like head professor here. So the collections are the universities itself. She doesn't do all of it, right? This is not her collections per se, but she's a big enough wig, right, that most people defer to her.
I see. And since she is from Westgate, does the name ring a bell?
Professor Wrath?
No, you said that this other professor was from Westgate, which is where I'm from. Does her name ring a bell? The associate professor that you mentioned.
No, Professor
Maybe it was-
Wrath got her tenure at Westgate.
Oh, okay.
So she helped found the University of Oakbridge, but this is not her. Well, I'll have to go back and look at that. I'll have to look at the notes exactly what I did. But remember, okay, actually, I might get this confused. Because remember, she migrated from the southern hemisphere up along the coast, grew up along the shores here in Clark and Oakbridge, but then she got her education in the prestigious University of Westgate, and I think she returned back to Oak Ridge area to found the University of Oakbridge. And I'm trying to remember where I wanted her specific tenure to be, where her basic operations are. But because she's such a prestigious individual, most of the universities are willing to like give her a kind of at least office space. So, but she doesn't do everything. Even if this is her main university, she doesn't do everything here.
Okay. And just to make sure I got it clear, she did found it, right? Because I mean, her painting is hanging up.
Yeah, she did
Okay.
found the University of Oakbridge.
Got it. So these are her collections.
That is kind of weird to have like a hall like the Professor Wrath Hall, Professor Wrath, or the Wrath Dormitory, the Wrath Lecture Hall. Oh my. The Wrath Cafeteria.
It's just the Jennifer cafeteria.
Oh no! There has to be an agricultural wing, and gardens that raise grapes, so they can have the grapes of wrath. Ba-dum-bum.
Oh my god.
Oh my.
So I assume as she's showing us all of this, we're writing it down, and Helgarina Rockbottom's in on the loop with us. So
Wait, in on the loop as in she knows you're gonna steal it or what?
no, that we're taking inventory and trying to piece what could potentially get returned to who if we go and talk with folks and
Oh, she never agreed
communities.
to that. She's willing to do inventory to make sure that everything is safe and sound, but she hadn't agreed to anything about repatriation yet. You didn't really talk to her about that.
Fair enough. I don't trust anyone anymore.
So, Professor,
Yes.
do you have anything else like the body bundle that everyone is still looking at?
No, they're probably binding it up by now. I mean, you can only sketch and doodle so much. Putting it away, packing it with cotton in a wood crate. I'm thinking. I don't know how you store that exactly.
At a place it could be examined by top men.
Exactly. So in terms of the bundle, like Professor Wrath gives a bit of a chuckle. And it's like, no, that specific one is a bit of a unique example. She does show you other bodies, bones. But she explains they're all local individuals. Because the university was founded on a cemetery, an ancient grave.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding. Well, wait. I'm trying to think about this for a second. That's a good joke. I like it.
Do I want to keep it or not?
Why the museum's haunted.
That'd
We
be
did
so
see
great.
all those skeletons when I was going in with Gradal into the experimental building. The entire first floor had
Yeah, but I didn't say what skeletons
on
those were, and I later explained that those were the skeletons showing the evolution of chickens to dinosaurs. So.
I don't remember that, but all right.
Well, no, because you guys were groaning, like Mike was groaning, like skeletons, and I'm like, wait, no,
I said they were animals. But all right,
yeah.
Does Professor, Also, as a question regarding your collections, do you have a written collections and curation policy that covers accession, deaccession, and repatriation?
Actually, you're gonna have to explain accession and decession to me, the DM. I'm not exactly sure of the terminology.
How things are added and removed from the collection.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, I mean, we have records, if that's what you mean.
No, a specific group of policies and procedures.
Oh, I see. It's mostly a case-by-case basis. No set policy.
Hmm.
For cursed items, is this the only one that you have in your collection for this kind of cursed metal?
She's like, oh, you're interested in those. I see the coprolites and the rock debitage is not good enough for you. Oh, fine.
Not exactly.
Clearly,
No.
the public is solely interested in the shinies. Fine. Okay.
Oh
we're
boy.
more interested in the danger posed by said shinies.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, those shinies. The shinies don't necessarily have any danger to them. It's an exaggeration.
Oh yeah?
No,
Try
no,
removing
it's
the one
not.
on Daenerys' head.
Well, what bad thing does it do to Genera? She's standing right there.
You wanna put it in your collection? Try to take it off her.
It's not more than 50 years old. I'm not interested in it. Not yet, anyway.
Interesting.
Wait, how would you know if it's not older than 50 years?
Well, okay. Well, the joke was that on your head, at least the context of it being on your head, I assume you're not 50 years old, right? And remember, like I said, these things kind of float around. I know that the objects themselves are much, much older than 50 years old, but I don't know what it's doing on your head, right? Like, I don't know where you got it. I don't know what you're doing with it. Right? Some of these objects, and she kind of like, she walks you down to another bit of the repository, and there is a collection of artifacts here. You're talking about a few dozen. And they tend to be small, and you can tell that they are made of the shiny metal or the space titanium. And she sort of just for the most part they do nothing, right? They just sort of sit there. And she pulls out some notes, like some of these were like family heirlooms. Some of these like were adornments and crowns, right? That this particular metal did not seem to be seemed to be indestructible. Occasionally seemed to have some sort of powers. But people either figured out how to use them without setting off things, or they just don't affect them that badly. And so, they're very different. They're very individual.
Do we recognize any from the dig site that Dr. Pickle was doing? Because he unearthed a couple from the dig site that we would recognize.
You would not recognize any of them. I mean,
okay, so those aren't going back to the. So now we know that those aren't going back to the university.
Not yet, anyway.
Okay. Has there been any research done on these cursed artifacts?
Well, she explains that, right, like, most of the research that she's sort of interested in is finding the context of them. But the thing is, though, she has a difficult time finding the original culture that produced them, right? Because it's very, very, very far in the past, and they've left this material culture that is seemingly indestructible. So people have like found it over time and reused it, and it's sort of spread and diffused out from whatever those original contexts or locations were. So she's kind of, she's like, okay, research on what point in time, right? So some of them have longer histories than others. Some of them are just found in random places. So again, they're very individual.
Does anybody else have any questions on the cursed stuff surrounding us here?
I'm gonna have to draw them later.
I'm just kind of finding it.
Never mind. No, I already showed you. I already showed you some of the artifacts that some of the other artifacts.
I was just gonna say I kind of find it hard to believe that they're cursed items and no one at the university is trying to research into reversing the effects of the curses or the ill effects that are left by these materials.
We are scientists, not wizards and alchemists, archaeologists, anthropologists. Okay, we believe in the culture of the artifact, not the power.
Oh my god!
We can't just sort of exploit their powers like some sort of industrial military complex. What do you think of us? Again, she scowls at Dagmar and then looks over at Theory and smiles.
Oh, for fuck's sake! I hate this.
With
Dagmar,
respect,
this is why I don't go to school. Go ahead.
well, with respect, I don't think that the use of the powers of these artifacts is a concern, but rather their, shall I say, passive effects on others.
Right.
In particular, we noticed in the excavations undertaken by Professor
That's my new ringtone.
That that it caused nightmares and other activities surrounding it, including activities not unlike those performed by Perkta and the goblins, particularly the vanishing in orange portals is something that we've witnessed surrounding these artifacts in the past a number of times.
She's like,
so there does seem to be a direct physical connection between Perkta and the curses surrounding these particular artifacts.
Professor Wrath strokes her chin and I remember some stories in Mount Heldar of a strange, smelly ape jumping in and out of orange portals that didn't seem to be associated with these artifacts. But that's just folklore.
Well, we can tell you that we have witnessed personally and physically in ourselves witnessed these orange portals appearing and disappearing in context around these artifacts. While we know that correlation is not causation, it is still an interesting connection to explore. Wouldn't you agree?
So just as a DM, just remember, right, the Bigfoot from Dermal Runner Farm also jumped in and out of the portals, but there were no artifacts there.
Yeah. Do you want me to roll a deception check? Because I actually,
you're trying to do deception. Okay, if you're trying to roll it,
I knew that, but I didn't say anything about it. It's deception by omission.
Okay. So go ahead, roll deception.
Womp womp.
Wah wah, indeed.
Okay. Well, we can still have let's see what Professor Wrath will roll.
Ugh.
I'm gonna give her a bonus because she's 1,000 years old. So she gets a d20. Yeah, plus. I don't think I actually would. Hold on a second. I have to reveal something here.
To just roll it normally.
See, hold on a second. Oh, yeah, dang.
Yeah, question.
Yes.
This one is most definitely a no. But I'm gonna ask it anyway.
Go for it.
I have my current computer tab open to D&D Beyond and not open to the result of what he just rolled. Can I use Bardic Inspiration if I have not seen the outcome yet?
Go ahead. Well, wait, whoa. Okay, so hold on a second. No, because that's retconning too much. And the thing is, though, with Bardic Inspiration, that means you have to sing, and that's really weird for you guys to be having a conversation, and then for the bard to burst into song.
Does it have to be a song?
Is
You're
it
a
weird for
bard.
him?
You're playing
Inspire
music.
through stirring words or music.
I mean, we're already weird enough.
Yeah, you're gonna start bringing out your tambourine and dancing and shaking it.
All right, fine.
That's
fine.
kind of weird,
I
man.
was just gonna tune my instrument while everyone's talking, but that works too.
That doesn't seem very inspirational.
I mean, it's inspirational enough. All right, next time I'll give you help next time, Gretel. Next time.
Promise. I'll be there for you next time, man. Probably.
Maybe.
Okay. Again, like Professor Wrath, like strokes her chin and is kind of puzzled by what exactly you're trying to get at. But she raises an eyebrow. Well, can she raise an eyebrow? Her
No.
mortarboard, you
The
can
vote
see,
is no. The vote is no.
you see the tassel hanging from her mortarboard, and it like lifts up in surprise.
Like a cartoon character?
So Professor Wrath is still kind of nonplussed by your explanation, and she explains that there have been recordings of things having passive effects, effects at a distance, spooky effects, as it were. But not all effects are done as such. For example, the Fenris ring, right? It doesn't do anything until you touch it. So there's no need to be really worried about it for some of those objects. And some of the objects are... all of the objects are presumed to have powers, but some of them we don't know how to activate them. Or we're not exactly sure what the activation is. So, you know, in her experience, she has not seen all of them to be as dangerous as you seem to describe.
Is there any way we can describe sort of the effects that we witnessed in terms of proximity to the artifacts, such as the bad dreams by Fred and other members of the Hair Dr. Pickles excavation team?
Okay, so as a DM, remember that only Fred had the bad dreams, as far as you know. Nobody else seemed to have them, as far as I remember. And that was, just to be clear to everybody who's listening, because this may be the first session, Fred was the only one who seemed to have nightmares because he was the one sleeping closest to the tent, and that tent had skulls of a very strange sort. So there might have been artifacts. I don't think you discovered any artifacts in there. But the artifacts themselves did not have any dreams, at least at that point. Or create any dreams at that point. The cup that you got from Seldy's soft hand did give Groudal nightmares. But then you're fighting also Professor Wrath's experience, because she's handled some of these artifacts too, and she has not gotten nightmares, at least not consistently. Telling you guys, stop trying to scare her. She is a 1,000-year-old lich. She don't scare that easily. Just steal the thing later.
Well, I mean, that or bring back an army with us.
Well, you can
I
burn
could
down the
probably
university, like you were
intimidate her.
saying.
Yeah, I could probably intimidate her though.
Are you gonna try to
Should I
intimidate
try?
her? That's up to
I'm gonna
you.
try. I'm gonna try. If it doesn't work, we'll just go with plan B. Oh. Hey now.
Okay, what are you doing to intimidate her?
Giving her a look.
Just a look.
Well, no, and then probably I'm probably very slowly reaching over my shoulder and grabbing my axe and then very, very slowly bringing it down to my side, very slowly. And I'm giving her a look the whole time. And I'm saying to her, hey, you need to start being a little bit more cooperative. We're just a bunch of curious explorers just asking you a couple questions. Okay.
You know what's kind of funny? The way you're putting that is, it's very, very reminiscent of the Men in Black from the original source material, like back in the 70s. Here we go, roll.
Huh?
Bam, 21. She steps up
Jesus.
to you and she looks down at you. Remember, she's like 8-9 feet tall,
Wait.
and you can feel this icy breath, if it's even breath at all, sort of emanate and fall over your body, Dagmar. And she's like, I do not intimidate easily.
Where did the +6 come from?
Oh, so I'm counting her as a level 10 wizard, and so that's a +4. Wait, no, so what was I thinking?
+6.
Oh yeah, a plus is a wizard. She has a proficiency in a wisdom saving throw, and at level 10 it's a +4. And then I just gave her a +2 proficiency, just for wisdom because she's a smarty. I mean that doesn't mean she's smart, right? But just as a sort of character, I give her a +2, so +6 total.
Yeah, D bonus points. Get a +2.
I hate this game. I hate it. I hate this game. I can't ever get a win.
You killed so many gremlins. You're like covered in their blood right now.
I can kill gremlins, but I can't intimidate or charm worth a shit.
You intimidated. Oh, my lips are wet or dry. Can't whistle.
Yeah, I guess so. I can't intimidate anybody holding a PhD though, because I tried with Pickle and that didn't work. Damn it. Alright, I gave it my shot, guys. Your turn.
The shins.
Okay, so Professor Wrath at that display begins to shoo you out and is like, no, this requires a delicate hand. You might break the ceramics. Okay, there's a series of chamber pots that I'm very, very fond of. Please, out, if you're not going to be helpful.
Should I even bother trying? I was gonna say, can I try to help intimidate? But
I'm trying to retcon.
That's
No,
twice
like,
now you
can I-
tried to retcon.
no, I didn't. I was gonna say I was away from my keyboard for a sec. I was gonna say, can I try to help? Like, can I try to also intimidate?
Okay. So we're gonna maintain her roll 21, her roll of 21. So if you want to try to
it would
intimidate,
be the same roll. Yeah.
okay. So if you want to try to intimidate, it's gonna be you, specifically you intimidating. So you go ahead and roll for intimidation.
I'm gonna regret this. It's charisma based. I'm giving myself a little bit of. Okay. No, not enough. I'm gonna just say that I went to kind of give her a face, and then she just did that discerning move towards me, and then I just backed off.
Okay. So this is how it is. It's you guys walked in. Okay, let me think about this for a second. Let's say, okay, so you walked in as master students, fresh from earning your bachelor's degree, tried to get smart with the professor, and she laid down the PhD law in front of the whole class. There you go.
Wow, it's like real life. I didn't think I'd be doing college again.
Oh my god.
You know as well as I have, sir, that I have never really laid down the law on anyone.
I mean,
Mike, now is your chance. Do it to the DM. Use your power.
My gosh.
But the frustrating thing is I've known professors like this.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah. I think we all have.
Mhm.
Ditto.
Happened at my grad school.
Big sigh.
So, in every capacity, every which way, this woman is just going to be unworkable.
Yeah.
To the littlest tiny thing where we could go so far as to be like, hey, lady, I'm parched. Can I have some water? And she'll probably talk us into circles about that. So,
You know,
this
you
is
actually,
also.
you haven't really asked her to do anything.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Hey, lady, can I take the body back to my village?
She looks at you quizzically, like, why would you want to take it back to your village?
To bury it where it
That's
was
where you
supposed to
stole
be.
it from.
Yeah, what he said.
She gives a bit of a chuckle.
Did you not?
There it is.
I'm sorry. Did you not understand the word stole? It's a 5-letter word. I would think with your education you would understand what it means.
Woo! Zing.
As I said before, not every burial is sacred. They did this specifically to this
They
individual to make
are.
sure.
That is what burials are for. You don't bury something. You don't bury somebody unless it is sacred. That's the point of burial.
Not unless it's to punish the individual.
Punish
All right.
the. Oh. That wasn't. That's not your call.
That
All
is
right.
the call of the people who did this. That is why they bound it. And this is why they tried to get rid of it.
They tried to bury it so that it would be left alone and not be touched.
Mm-hmm.
Rado, have
Especially
you
not
actually
by-
been to this population? Have you actually spoken to them?
I point to Dagmar and go, "Hello."
All right then, Dagmar. All right then. I believe someone related to you actually ended up handling this. So I want to ask you, go ahead, tell the story. What is the story that you heard about this thing in here?
What the heck? Yeah, help!
This is you. Like, you wanted to do backstory. This is your backstory. You get to decide.
This is much bigger than the 3-4 pages I have typed up. You did hint at this last time that this was involving an ancestor of mine, but we didn't talk about which one or who.
Because I left it open for you. Because I figured like this is gonna be for you to like figure things out.
Oh my god. Next time on Goblin Town. Also in chat, the only way to find out, go up north. Talk to my homies up north. Let's get them involved in this discussion, you know? Who's with me?
Two of us on our
Gretel
page right
looks
now.
directly up at her, gently puts his hand on his shoulder and says, "I'm always with you, Dagmar."
Oh my god.
I kind of want to. I'm trying hard to visualize that because Dagmar's pretty short compared to Dagmar. I don't know how Dagmar's putting his hand on her shoulder.
I think Gretel
I
jumped
would
up
have
on
to
a table.
reach up. I'd have to reach up pretty high, probably.
Like on your tippy toes.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you only came up to my knees.
I mean, I could be giving him secretly a boost.
There you go. Oh my god, what an intense episode this is, and we still have 20 minutes.
No, that's speaking out of character. I'm perfectly fine ending early so we can stop having conversations with this bitch.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm specifically saying that out of character.
I thought Gretel was
have
evil anyway. So
discussions. I have discussions I need to have with the party out of character over all this. So I'm cool with that too.
I'm liking the idea of a village of barbarians coming down and just. burning
That's
the
what I'm
place.
thinking. That's what I'm thinking about this. Let them take care of it.
Your entire village is just barbarian.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
That's pretty
Barbarian
dramatic.
orcs. Pretty cool, huh?
That sounds racist, but okay.
What?
Just because they're an orc, they have to be a barbarian. All right.
No. It's just this one village. Couple villages.
You guys have already
Whole
met a
nation of
half-orc
villages.
bartender.
Yeah. Yeah, we can do other things. Let's delete this episode afterward, huh, guys?
I don't know, Dagmar. This one's been a bit of an interesting one for you.
Yeah, I don't like how it makes me look. I want to delete it.
Oh my God.
It's for me. It's just bring up bad memories of these obstinate professors that I remember from undergrad and grad school. Be like,
Mhm.
you can't tell this person anything.
They'll
Mhm.
talk circles around you.
Yeah, it seems to me that Professor Rath has fallen victim to PhD syndrome. They get that paper in their hand and they physically become capable of saying the words "I don't know" or "I was wrong."
Yep. Hey, it's like
PhD in tenure syndrome.
that. Daryl, you used the picture of Dr. Rath in the meme gallery yesterday at 7 p.m.
Why are
And
you
it
time
has
dating
become-
it? That's weird.
Huh?
Why are you time dating it?
Yesterday, precisely. But I was laughing because I was like, "Oh, you're using Dr. Rath as a meme," and in itself, that sketch is just it's totally memeable now. But like the whole what you're responding to, which is when the villain in the movie has a PhD, viewers without a PhD, they are just saying he's a smart villain. Makes sense. Viewers with a PhD, grad school and academia drove him to madness. Makes sense. Definitely that's going on with Dr. Rath. What's happening here? You've been an absolute gem this session. No, I have not. Anyway, but I don't like her. Also, I in addition to PhD involving people like her, I'm also having PhD over a lot of papers present in presentations I've given at the start of anthropology for me in undergrad, where I was studying primarily the Ainu in Japan. And there were cases of bioanthropologists, I think in the 1700s, going to Japan and watching villages bury their dead, and then going in at night and taking them, and then defleshing the bodies in their home countries and putting up the skeletons in their museums.
That's pretty
Oh.
creepy.
That's
Jacked up.
Mm-hmm.
that's just wonderful to hear.
Yeah, and it was like, God, I think it was a couple years ago that some of the museums are finally realizing that, oh, we shouldn't have these skeletons and we need to give them back. The first to decide that was the museum, the head museum in Australia, and then I think Smithsonian followed. But of course, they were having trouble with the British Museum.
Oh, really?
And-
What?
yeah.
Never. What are you talking about?
Yeah. And what's funny too is like there's a ton of articles on this before, and then I was doing a lot of digging towards the end of this episode, and some of these articles were the ones that I saw years ago were taken down or like put behind a firewall or like a paywall, which is really frustrating to me. So I was getting frustrated for a ton of different reasons this session. But yeah, that happened, and since Dagmar's kind of lore and backstory was inspired by Norse mythology and Ainu traditions and culture mixed together, that's where my mind jumped to when I saw this, and so it's like, oh no, that's not good in so many different ways. But yeah. Universities, don't do this shit. Okay?
I do like how you guys are very, very human-centric still, and you're like, they have a human body here. It's not a human.
But that's the thing. It was buried in such a, you know, a very very special way, that it, no matter what it was, or if it was a demon trapped in a human body, because mortuary's assistant's really popular right now.
Well, I meant, like, why didn't you guys say it's an orc, since it's supposed to be from your area? It's an orc body, not a human body. That's what I'm getting at.
Oh, you got us there, dude. You got us there.
This is why I like to refer to big head 2 feet as a term, okay? Much
Oh
more
my
racial neutral.
God. Guys, he really did just get us there.
You know, you want to bring this body back. It's probably going to end up being like we bring it back and bury it in the north, and it just activates some like massive demonic power that comes lays waste to the entire north region.
No.
Why are you giving him ideas?
He already has like 6 ideas. Giving him one more is not going to make it any worse. It's gonna
Honestly, that's
maybe
how
level out his head a little bit.
Yeah, that's how I treat Daryl at this point. That, like, if I let an idea slip, it's like, nah, he's probably got like 3 or 4 worse than that one.
Hell, it's probably like a Norse god or something that's been trapped by the necklace or whatever. I mean, if we really want to go into the fact that my character knows the background details of Fenrir,
Mhm.
and we want to actually talk about Fenrir being bound up, and until he outgrows the bindings and can break free to bring about Ragnarok, I don't know if we want to let this thing out of here.
That's why I was confused and like tongue twisted at the start, because I was just like, how much of the real legend is put into this campaign, or is it like inspired something of the same name and the same type of creature monster and the same kind of lore insinuation, but like how much of that? Because what about Loki? What about all the other gods associated with Fenrir? Is that all included in this world? I don't know, so I'm going to keep my mouth shut. And then, Daryl, you said the word Vikings, and I was like, oh god, there's Vikings in this world too now. All right, that's
I thought
confirmed.
your people were supposed to be Vikings. That's why I made the reference.
I never
He also
said...
said to me that my character would know anything that I know about Fenrir, which means that it's a lot more than just be big dog. It means that there's probably going to be some decent amount of lore behind.
Yeah, but again, guys, you're kind of running off in a direction a little bit too much. Remember, the Professor Raz kept telling you that these are artifacts that have no context, right? That they get passed down. So it may be called Fenrir, but that doesn't mean the thing it's associated with is Fenrir.
It may be something else, though, that's also associated with something else.
And I know, Anna, you're not a Viking, but I remember you said Norse and stuff like that. Your combination of Ainu and Norse is what I meant.
Yeah. I put that in bold. And then I'm pretty sure in my document, I'm pretty sure, because I made a mental note of it to avoid saying the word Viking and to just try using like seafaring warriors instead. Because I just wanted to draw inspiration, but I wanted to try to create something as unique as possible.
Okay, well, you're gonna have to come up with you can give me some practices. I want to know about spindle whorls. Okay, tell me about spindle whorls from your culture. Tell me about I want to know some zoo archaeology. Tell me about the domestication of animals, domestication of plants. Come on.
Oh, I'm gonna scream.
Thank God Zavarin is not written as an academic.
I wrote like 3-4 pages. Take it or leave it, man. Wish my world building was a little bit better.
Well, I mean, I'm not trained as an archaeologist, but I think they make it quite obvious that I'm very, very interested in getting into the minutia.
That's good. It keeps us on our toes. I feel like this whole episode kept us on our toes. And triggered, which I know you like.
There's something else I learned this session, and that's that our barbarian cannot intimidate.
You learned that this session? Jake, this session is when you...
point it out again.
All right.
I also learned that I +5 to my charisma on the roll of intimidation cannot intimidate, so that's fun too.
Oh, and I'll let it slip right here that like, Janera, when you had that big reveal a while ago, your voice kind of like cracked a little bit. Maybe it was acting, maybe it was emotions, but it definitely brought a tear to all of us, or I certainly was about to bawl when you did that. But I was like, either Bri is like a really, really good actor, or there's something about these D&D because this is my first campaign. I'm like, something about these D&D characters brings something out of you. When Dagmar was just about to go into her backstory, a tear went down my cheek. I was like, what is this? What is
Oh,
this thing?
acting.
So like, I would have actually gone into it, but when I noticed that, I stopped myself because I was like, what is this? This feeling.
Honestly, when you can get emotionally invested in your D&D characters, you're doing something right.
I hope so. I don't have the like biggest backstory or anything, but I care about it.
Yeah, but even if it's not directly the backstory, it's the fact that you are so deeply and like mentally and emotionally entrenched into your character that it just hits different.
Yeah.
That's true.
So careful if that ever comes up again. Not gonna cry live.
I dare you.
DM's
I mean, why
taking
not? I did it.
Daryl is like scribbling an entire page in his notes right now. Make Dagmar weep.
If that's the case, I'll just go offline, and then you all will think like, "What did something happen? Did Anna's internet connection cut out?" And Daryl will just be like, "Oh, hold on a second, she's DMing me information."
I can think of 3 ways right now that he can make Dagmar cry. I'm not going to say them because I care about Anna, but that's a different conversation. Daryl, hit me up later.
I guess.
No, make Bri do it again. Every season needs one emotional scene from Genera, or is it even a season?
I mean, you just wait and see.
Genera, is that your brother behind you?
Um,
I sure hope not. I don't really want to deal with that right now. It's a can of worms
everyone.
I do not want to be opened here.
For everyone's sake.
My hope with this terrible triggering session that we had is that and if I was physically in the room with Daryl right now, I would grab a paper and a pen as I'm saying this and shove it in his face. My hope with this session is that if we do end up doing the weird shit travel venture that Dagmar came up with on a whim, that it somehow ties in with Kulog, because I really, really want to see his connection with the cursed artifacts and more of that backstory and how he plays into everything overarching.
And Daryl, I think you'll understand that this episode was so triggering. I think we spent about 50% of it in character and 50% out of character, just pissed off at Professor
Yeah.
Okay, this is the reason why you guys are only hitting level 5, because a lot of these sessions you guys are just like talking. So, yeah. Yeah, but it's fine. Like,
I punished you for years.
I think that Anna's got a great idea. You know, on the road to go see Dagmar's people. We'll turn this into a road trip movie. We'll get Zavarin laid. It'll be like one of those 90s road trip movies.
I'm wondering, now that you're in Oak Ridge, are you going to go over the mountain, or are you going to go to the ocean, sail around the rivers? Because if you go over the mountain, you're going to have to face the ticks again.
I think we should find a flying bison and do an Avatar: The Last Airbender style venture to the north for Dagmar.
Well, I also think if we do the coast, that's an awesome opportunity to explore some neat maritime archaeology stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
Underwater archaeology.
Cool.
We could rent a boat and maybe meet a new cast of characters on the boat and go that way. Yeah.
It'd be cool because at third level, I gained all of these different water spells, like water walking, water breathing, wall of
Yeah.
water,
I
Let's
would-
go
I would-
diving.
tidal wave. These are
I
all
would
third
like,
level spells that I just got today.
I would like a little swashbuckling thrown in here. I think that'd be fun.
You got
Yeah.
the
Get
head
our
for
own
it, brother.
ship.
We
I
could
know, let's-
contribute to
Head for it.
coastal migration theory.
Yep.
Oh.
We'll take Raph
Actually,
with us.
now we kind of have to take the coast because now there's like a lot we can do going that way.
You have to sing some shanties.
Yeah.
I will play some shanties.
Oh,
Devarin is not
man.
as good a singer as his mother is, so he relies
That's right.
mostly on playing and whistling.
I gotta connect you to my wife's friend Kim. She did an ethnographic study of sea shanties at Mystic Seaport, and I had her talk to my folklore class like a few years ago, in the before times, long ago.
That's really cool. What do you say, Daryl?
It's up to you guys. You
Yeah.
figure it out. I mean, look. Let's just get real. I want you to have free reign to go in any direction that you wish. Just realize that any path you take, I will try to make it a living hell.
What did you say about water ticks?
How is that different from any other session?
Yeah.
Excellent. So we're agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Oh, also,
Yeah, let's go to the coast.
remember when you said that if we were talking about Helgarina, you'd bring her in and it would just be that for the sake of the story? You just bring her in, there's no consequences. She just appeared and she was there. She came over to us and she was like a total bro.
Okay, so what are you getting at?
Can I do that with the pig before we go on the adventure? That I just think about Daintyfoot so much that he or she just appears and I snatch her up or him and go onto the boat and we're just good as rain.
Okay. Okay, so it depends. Are you getting? So I'm guess. Well, okay, we're gonna. Okay, hold on a second. We have to go to the world map. 1 second.
To the map. Away.
Because I said the coast, but I probably shouldn't have said the coast.
Yeah, because I was wondering, because northwest there's no coast.
Yeah, so
We're going up from there.
this is the thing again. So
Listen, Daryl, you are the DM. Make a river appear.
okay, so this is the
There is
thing
one right
is,
over there.
a theory is from about that area. Dagmar is going to be roughly from this area. Give or take. You guys can decide how exactly you want to do this.
I was in my brain, I was like, here.
Yeah.
So oops.
That's
I
really
was gonna
far.
say, is this like a vague depiction of North America, or is this just a coincidence?
Yeah.
You knew?
And I'm from like here, right? That's where Westgate is.
Westgate is going to be. This is Westgate, right? So if you remember,
Oh, okay.
Jennifer Rath's migration pattern was up this way, grew up here, and then went to Westgate to get her education, and then came back to found the University of Oak Ridge.
Gotcha.
Oh my god, it's taken me until just now that I kept saying Dagmar's village, my village, whatever. I gave it a name. It's always had a name.
What's its name?
Manavik.
Cool.
Thank you.
You're
Have
just like
we-
whatever.
I actually have no idea.
Ostensibly, you know
where
what? We
Zavarin's
could
from.
get there if we travel by sea around these two peninsulas and then up the river.
Okay, so you're talking about going down this way, traveling by sea, and then going up this river that way?
Yeah. That's
Okay.
a much longer distance than we've traveled before, though. So
And no ticks. I mean, if we die at sea, that's much better than contracting Lyme disease again. So
Unless there are sea ticks.
don't stop. That one you should not have said.
Okay, Jake. They are not called sea ticks. They are sea lice. Get it right.
Okay,
Oh
I'm
my
sorry. I'm
God.
sorry. I know that was offensive, but I'm sorry.
I mean,
Oh,
that
I should.
sure.
Might be friendly. You don't know.
Oh, but like I say sea lice, and now I'm thinking of the sea lice from Godzilla 1985. or 1984, released in Japan. Yeah. Which was also referenced in the ticks or lice that were on top of the monster in Cloverfield. But there you go.
Can we get a Mothra friend?
You want a pair of fairies? A pair of twin fairies? Mothra!
Oh wait, I can just walk there,
giant
guys. I
moth.
can travel 40 feet.
Okay, listen here. Listen here. All right, knock it off. So we
God.
decided we're gonna go. We're gonna get a small boat / ship, and then
Robot.
we're not getting a dinghy. We're gonna get a small ship that can traverse a river,
Okay.
ride the coast, and go up.
Okay, so here's the next thing, okay? You're either going to have to scrape the money together to buy it, or you're going to have some sort of sponsorship a la the Mayflower Company, or you're going to
Can't we
have to
just
get
steal
hired on
one?
the boat, or steal a boat. It's up to you.
Why can't we just
Pirates. We
Grand
become
Theft
pirates.
Aqua?
Oh, what? Hire a what?
I was
think
just
he
gonna
said
say we become
pirates.
we become pirates.
Oh,
We just
yeah,
steal a
become
boat
pirate.
and go.
Yeah. There you go. You're
Does
a
anyone
pirate.
know
That's
do we have
like
the proficiency for that?
We have
no,
a
we don't.
rogue.
I'm just joking.
Yeah.
Become
Well-
a pirate. That's fine by me.
Like last case, we could do that. We could see how much money we have. We can also see if Helgreen is willing to get, the Shippo office to help out, given that we're doing them a favor, really.
Wait, how are you doing them a favor? You're gonna have to explain this
Dagmar
one.
always just assumes she's doing someone a favor.
Uh,
It's just her toxic character trait.
what
He's
is
like,
what is
Tavarin, let me kill you. I'm doing you a favor.
what is Dr. Adam saying here in chat? Has anyone done DNA study using the science of magic on sea lice on sank and the sea owls to determine where they diverged? What?
No, but come back next session. By then, Daryl will have it written up.
Fatalistic.
You know,
Oh my
I have been trying really hard to think of like how can I put DNA into this, but I'm like, oh! I remember. I forgot to make this joke earlier.
Retconned.
I can't remember if I wanted to do it with the shovel hobs or I wanted to do it with Professor Rass, and how they had like artifacts that were kind of like not fully like excavated or still kind of in a chunk of dirt, and how they're going to be like, we're not going to fully excavate, not completely unearth it or break it open, in order to leave it for later generations to develop techniques to analyze it, such as DNA analysis.
Oh
But we're
my
going to leave it right there.
Some identify spells.
Sure, archaeologists.
I cast C14 dating.
Oh my god.
That's a level 14 identify.
Oh. Are you gonna cast C4 dating on a rock, Hannah? Are you gonna?
Doesn't quite work like that.
I know it doesn't.
And you're
That's
getting
the
mad
joke.
that I gave him ammo?
Are you gonna cast C4 dating on an object that's was created recently? You're gonna get a weird date. I'm gonna give you like 1,000,000 years.
Oh my god. This campaign, I swear. I think it'll be fine, though. I think with the power of love and friendship, we'll be able to secure a boat. And
Sure.
it'll be
and
fine.
Maybe murder.
And maybe murder if love and friendship's not enough, but then the trifecta of all three together will get us what we want in the end. And if it's too large of a boat, we'll try the power of love and friendship again to stretch the river just enough to fit our boat to go up the river somehow, and go upstream. But if that doesn't work, we'll burn it all down.
Okay, so I just want to make sure I have this plan clear. Okay, that way I have an idea
There
of
is
what
no
to
plan
make
that is to be cleared.
to get ready. Okay, so you're gonna loot the body from the university, throw it on a
Borrow
boat,
it.
steal the boat. Well, borrow without returning.
We're also borrowing the boat.
Okay, borrowing the boat. If it gets damaged, oh well. And then you're gonna transport the body in the boat along the coast and then up the river as close as you can to get to Dagmar's area of origin, right? That's what you're doing.
That's
Kind
kind
of.
of sort of the plan.
let's get it.
We're winging it.
Well, yeah, but let's get on the same page about one thing, all 5 of us right now. Do we take the body or do we leave it and let folks in Manavik know that the body is there? Or do we bring the body to them?
I say we let them know. You pointed out the how dangerous it is to attempt to move the thing, number one. And number two, no action should be undertaken without first communicating and collaborating with descendant communities.
Can we like send a raven or something up there, or yeah, any way of communicating with them to see if we can bring it with? Because they might be like, please, for the love of Odin, do not bring this thing back here. It will destroy everything. Or they could be like, we want that now, and we have to go all the way back and get it.
I don't want to be uncooperative with that, but my first thought in developing the lore that I've got going on is if they don't recognize a bird, they're going to shoot it down. And if it's a letter from me, they're not even going to read it. So I don't want to be uncooperative, but I just don't. I don't think that would work.
Radal is not going to shapeshift and go up there. Got it.
Oh.
Got it.
They take account into all the animals under their care, and they'll shoot anything they don't recognize. So, yeah.
I mean, they'd still get the message.
Maybe. But
All right, so then we
yeah.
have to go all the way down, all the way up there. So
And then let them deal with it.
alternatively, you could bring the body, hide it below deck, and then like ask them. And if they're like, "Oh God, I hope you destroyed that body," we can just go throw it in a volcano or something.
Oh, I don't think there'd be an issue if we got it to them and gave it to them. I don't think that'd be an issue. It's just an issue of like if something were to happen to us while we're transporting it, especially with how dangerous sea travel can be, it would be even more dangerous with the corpse of a demon with us.
True. That's true.
Anything could happen to the boat. Like we could roll poorly and Daryl will just flip it over and Titanic us.
That would be Poseidon. Titanic didn't flip. Come on, pay attention.
Well, folks, it is at least Eastern time. It is 10:15, and we are still streaming.
God, this
You
is
need
true.
to shut down the stream.
All right. So
Shut it down.
thank you all for Goblin Town visiting us, saying hello. You are welcome to you're welcome to join us next time. And so see you all later. Good night, everybody.
Good
Bye.
night, everybody.
Good night,
Bye
everybody.
bye.
All right. Say good night, Gracie.
Good night,
Bye,
Gracie.
Gracie.